everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another movie review. This time I am reviewing Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. I remember being very emotional about this film when I first saw it in cinemas and just how much I like it. I think it's absolutely one of my ultimate favorites, other than the very first Harry Potter film, which is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, depending on what version you ascribe to. Doesn't matter, it's the same thing. But there are a lot of things that I really liked about this film, and the consistency of it, and just how we see more of Draco's character, and you really start to feel sorry for him. And you know, it's weird that I am starting to sympathize with his character more, because I never really cared that much for Draco. And Dolores Umbridge returns, and there's a new Minister of Magic because Cornelius Fudge resigned. They are looking for the true Horocrux, because Remus, they learned it was Remus that had stolen it to destroy it himself. And by some odd sort of coincidence, I don't really think it was a coincidence, they end in Godric's Hollow. And well, actually first they go to the Ministry of Mysteries, and they find that it's around Dolores Umbridge's neck, which makes sense because she's a deliriously twisted, nasty witch. She's just horrible. And then you find out what the Horocrux can do once it's around somebody's neck. It turns them dark, and it makes them think thoughts that they would normally think, thoughts that would bring them down or bring other people down. And once the true power of the Horocrux is revealed, it's derisive. It's it's a very powerful, insidious device. Brambled. I think that's the best adjective I can think for that. And you find out here that Xenophilius is actually a traitor. I never saw that coming. I thought, well, why? Because I actually liked Xenophilius, and I was really upset that he would do that. But he did that because he was desperate, and we find that out. And one of my favorite parts in this film is the animation that they had for the three brothers, and I'm not sure who did that, but the fable itself is, I think, really tremendous, and it reminds me a lot of Carlos Castaneda's tales. And if you've read his books, then you know what I'm talking about. Is becoming equals with death. And I wonder if J.K. Rowling ever read Castaneda, because I was thinking maybe she got that idea from that. It's maybe, who knows, that's probably why I liked it so much. But just the way it's presented in this form, this storybook form, but it has so many adult themes that make it even more intriguing, and just a tremendous story, I think. And just you're absolutely transfixed to the screen. And of course we figure out what the symbols of the Deathly Hallows are, which would be the Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, and the Cloak of Invisibility. And the story tells us all about that, and the original founders of the Deathly Hallows. And the story just keeps on adding more layers of intensity and detail and depth that we have to try to figure out as it goes on. And the end is very sad with what occurs with Dobby. And the first time I saw it in the cinema, I was bawling like a little child. I just couldn't help myself. I really love Dobby, and I'm not going to say what happens, because that it just would give away a huge plot point that would ruin everything, and I don't intend on doing that. It's just a very tragic and heartrending scene, and the group realizes that they have to keep trudging on because whatever comes ahead for them, they know that this is Armageddon, basically. In the end, Voldemort gets what he had originally wanted from one of the original founders of the Deathly Hallows, and it's very disturbing, actually, and very unnerving. And in the final film, which I've already reviewed, it's even darker, and even though they cut out quite a bit, and I really didn't have any nags with it because I've read the books. That Deathly Hallows book is actually better than the movie, even though I love the movie. Don't get me wrong, I love both parts 1 and 2, and I think that they did a spectacular job with it. They were tremendous. They really were. They were positively otherworldly, and this is no exception. I really like the Deathly Hallows, particularly for the three brothers and how it was animated. And I'm not sure how they did. I think they did it with CGI, but it's just so enrapturing and interesting the way they depict certain elements of the story itself, that I thought I never would have done it that way, but that actually makes more sense to see Death doing this certain thing. And I really don't know what else to say about Deathly Hallows other than I absolutely love it, and I give it 2 thumbs way up and 5 stars across the board, no questions asked. It is truly an awesome film, without a doubt. There's no other word to describe it, and I just am always transfixed by it. I am completely dazzled, and even though I'm unnerved half the time, and I actually knew what was going to happen with Bagatha, and I knew what she was, and it was kind of creepy, but still I could predict what was going to occur, because seeing it in the cinema, I already knew. I said, it's not over yet, and then there was a bit of a startling scene after that, but it's very expertly done, and I have to give Warner Brothers kudos for this, and the director of this, I forget who it was, I can't remember his name, David Yates, yeah, David Yates. I give him a gold star for his efforts, and if I could bake him the biggest cake in the world that would say congratulations on a job well done, made out of everything that he could possibly want on a cake, then I would. But basically that's pretty much all I have to say about Harry Potter. I will be reviewing X-Men Origins, Wolverine, and Army of Darkness, as well as some other films that I've been meaning to get around to but just haven't. I recently got Sucker Punch, and I definitely want to look at that, because it's like Alice in Wonderland, I've heard, and you know how I like Alice in Wonderland. It's one of my favorite books of all time, and I'm a huge fan of Lewis Carroll, and even though I don't understand mathematics, it's just really one of the most unusual, unique, surreal, incredible, phantasmagorical stories that I've ever come across. Other than this one, the whole series is just phenomenal and just ethereal. I love it. I just can't get enough Harry Potter, and that's pretty much all I have to say for now. And I will be doing my review on a book I picked up for Glee fans. and I will be reviewing that pretty soon. So catch you on the flip side.